incest. I mean, it's a terrible idea. People keep doing
Yes, it is.
it. People keep doing it. I'm always like, really? Another one?
Letting Jen play Skyrim with those on, so she's distracted.
How is it?
Oh god, it's so good.
I've actually got my boy doing it as well.
Yeah, it's good that someone, like, I just feel like someone needs to be playing it right now, because if it's like
At all
on,
times.
it's just a waste of like precious time.
By the way, this bit's going in the recording, so just so the listeners know that like a random girlfriend and a random 8-year-old are playing Skyrim before them. I just feel that's something they need to know, our listeners who we love and cherish. And Skyward Sword is in the mail on its way to Jonathan Holmes.
Yeah,
so.
no one is playing that. It's just being held by a man.
But this is a great episode for people who want to listen to people who are playing games that they are not.
I've got Cave Story 3D too. I've had that for a while. People want that, as it turns out. It's pretty good. So how's Skyrim so far?
Fucking dragons.
It's cool, I guess,
That shit's so dragon.
People were telling me that
Is
it's
that the new That's So Raven?
Yep, that's so dragon.
I'm hearing that it's the epic scale and scope that make it worth playing.
I think it's because it's dragon is why it's worth playing.
Well, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but there are several kinds of fish in the game that you can catch if you want to that are available.
I heard the Elder Scrolls fans love it when you promise previews and only talk about catching fish. I might do my review, not as a review, but as a fisherman's guide to the realm of Skyrim and its many rivers and fords. I have a feeling that the Elder Scrolls fans, that's all they want to know about is how many fish.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Really, really fuck them though, because that's the thing that makes the game such a technical masterpiece.
I agree.
I'm not saying it is a technical masterpiece, but the reason one of the things that's so impressive about it is it's the amount of detail on stuff that really it's not what people pay attention to when they're making games.
Yeah,
the incidental
that's
minutia.
kind of a hallmark of Bethesda, though.
I mean, when
most of their games are like that.
When people say, why are you talking about the fish, they don't matter, it's like, we're talking about the fish because they don't matter, and the fact that somewhere in Bethesda it did matter to a guy, and that something that inconsequential they actually thought about shows how much thought overall went into the game. You see, it's cool thinking, loser nerds.
Yeah, this is why we get the game, because we like fish, and they were like, hey, those guys like fish, let's send them the copy of the game early so they can appreciate our fish. So fuck you if you don't like fish.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like I see Skyrim as being like a realistic oil painting where people just gasp in awe and look at all the, oh, look, there's a little badger hiding behind the bush. Oh my god, he included a badger. And
it's kind of like playing a
you don't get it, Holmes.
paintings.
That's not right.
That is Jonathan Holmes again, framing insults as compliments.
No, I love oil paintings and badgers.
As this patronizing, it's so good for you that you like that little thing. That's basically what you're saying, Jonathan.
I love oil paintings and looking for little details in the oil paintings by Rembrandt and the gang, those important guys.
To be fair, I have several times during my course of playing the game gone, oh, a goat, or oh my goodness, a rabbit.
I tell you what, actually, it was when I saw the goat. And I was like, that's cool, a goat. Oh my god, the goat is chewing! He's chewing grass like a goat in real life.
Yeah, I fell in a river, and I briefly dunked under, and then I sort of floated up, and then it started slowly taking me down the river, and then I reached a small waterfall, and it pushed me off the waterfall, and that's kind of cool. It makes me want to go into real nature and then play with the actual nature. Probably not by attacking it, but, Well,
the thing is, I didn't have that problem because I stuck to the rivers and lakes that I'm used to.
Oh.
You did that.
TLC.
I'm a creep.
There was
that was the best thing that this podcast's ever going to have, what I just said there. So, treat it well. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, by the way, to Podtoid. Thank you for coming along and joining our little soiree this evening. It is episode number 170, a thing, so listen to that. I'm your host, Jim Sterling. I'm joined by, bloody hell, it's Max Scoville.
Hello, everyone.
Tara Long as well is here as well. Hello, Tara, as well.
Oh, hi, everyone.
And, it's Jonathan Holmes.
Yeah, hi. I'm really glad to be here.
Wank off a witch. I'm really happy to have you on, Jonathan.
You wank them?
I don't know. It was a comedy exclamation.
It was a good seasonal one, too.
It was a really good seasonal one because it is the day after Halloween.
Worms and weasels.
Otherwise known as the scariest day of the year that is after Halloween.
If you're scared of sluts.
Oh, where'd that come from? Tell me about the sluts. What do you mean?
Did you go outside in the past week? Because there just were sluts everywhere.
I saw a slutty Clipper card on Halloween. Clipper card is like the bus transit pass system here. Somebody was dressed as a slutty bus pass.
There are so many sluts like round here, like just outside the houses. They come out at night, and you pass by them and they look okay during the day, but at night they like light up and they're like orange and they've got funny triangle eyes. And I confused sluts and pumpkins again.
Oh, good lord! The slut-o'-lanterns. No, wait! I got it. Jack-o'-slatterns.
Slutkins.
That's a word for sluts. You don't hear that often. Slatterns.
Wow. So, by slut you mean just a sexy lady? I mean, they're not necessarily sexually promiscuous. They just are,
No, we mean dressed sluttily.
We mean vital, attractive young women who we cannot have sex with, and so we now hate them. That's how it works.
You know when you say, someone's whoring themselves out, and that you don't really mean it like they're actually sucking dick for stuff. Like they're just kind of metaphorically whoring themselves out.
Sure.
It's like that. Like girls will put on, I'm gonna be a sexy Joker, and then they go out in this costume, and it's like, were they really that into Ninja Turtles or Batman or Mario Brothers? Was that like their thing? Maybe. I mean, in some cases it is, but I think a lot of the time it's like, let me find a thing that a boy likes and then make it look really sexy. And I will get mad if he just assumes that I want to have sex with him.
Well, here's the other thing, and speaking as a woman,
yes,
I can tell you that women's Halloween costumes, the ones that you buy in stores, are incredibly poorly made. So it's often hard to find one that just looks good on you in general. So you go with the first one that looks good, regardless of what it really is.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, being so poor quality, you can just pretend that like the leg parts and the top parts fell off, and that is why you're basically walking around in a glorified brassiere.
I don't know. I'm not getting
I don't give a fuck. In fact, due to the offensive repetition of the word sluts and whores, both of which I've got in trouble for saying in public in the time, I want it to be known on the record that I tried to steer this conversation away by making a cute reference to pumpkin, a very nice berry.
That awful man, Max Scoville, just wanted to talk about sluts.
He's saying it again, okay? Now, Max Scoville, I respect him as a personality on the internet. I work with him professionally, but what he says about sluts is something that I don't condone. For the record, I love sluts.
I think sluts are great. I don't trust the sluts. That's the problem.
You don't trust them?
I'm angry. Okay, here, I'm angry for a number of reasons. Reason number one, I have a girlfriend, and she doesn't let me go out and mingle with the sluts on Halloween. I mean, she's theoretically would let me go out and do stuff. I mean, I can't.
How unreasonable of her.
Mingle with them in their natural habitat.
And second, if I go up to one of those girls who's dressed as like a slutty Ninja Turtle, and I go, which version of Baxter Stockman did you like better? Did you like the little Poindexter one with the bow tie who turned into like the Fly, or did you like the black one who built the Mousers that took down the World Trade Center in the comic books? And then she looks at me and goes, ah, and walks away.
Yeah, because you're one of those guys. That makes me one of those guys.
What is that?
One of those guys who's like, it's not fantasy, it's hard sci-fi.
I must admit,
You're a Skyrim fan now,
I must
basically, when it comes to Halloween costumes.
Max, I must admit, if I had to choose between a slutty Ninja Turtle and the guy asking about the favourite Baxter Stockmans, I would probably go with Slutty Magoo over Baxter Stockman Man.
Which is your favorite version of Baxter Stockman?
I actually go with the television series. Oh, God damn it, Max! Don't get me into the classic Baxter honey trap.
I just feel like I feel betrayed. I feel like, if I wanted to dress up like a Ninja Turtle, it's like, ew, what's wrong with you? You creeper, you nasty man. And then if some fucking,
that's the classic.
Some big bird wants to put on a Ninja Turtles outfit and go, sashaying about in the night. Everyone's like, oh, yeah.
Well, it's not that way in Greece, That's one of the things I like about Greece. That's probably the number one thing I like about Greece.
Are we talking about the place or the film?
It's both, but more the place. If you go to Greece, the guys have totally tight shirts and like designer jeans and like high heel sneakers and stuff. They're really slutty dudes that are just like, I'm hot.
That's a lot of Europe, though. Italy's
awesome.
like that too.
Oh, is it? I haven't been there.
Yeah, guys, they're very greasy but fashionable.
I dress like that on occasion as well. I must admit, I am a big slut.
I have a pair of white jeans that are so tight that you can see the outline of my penis quite clearly. It's very
if you
impressive.
were in Greece, that would go over you could dress as a slutty Baxter Stockman in Greece with the white jeans and a white lab coat and no shirt, and women would love you.
Yeah,
it's good. Go there.
Yeah, okay.
So anyway, enough about the sluts. For now, we can come back to the sluts at a later time to talk about them.
This conversation is going to be reprinted on a WordPress blog or two somewhere around the internet. Possibly with like a yellow and pink background. Oh dear, ladies and gentlemen.
We should just explain that joke at this point, because I don't think that he's ever complained about us properly.
Who has?
Are we?
I'm not talking about.
Are you talking about Kotaku?
No, I'm just talking about general
Are you talking about the Pepto-Bismol website? Because that has a.
No, I was just making I was just making a joke about just funny, really radical feminist blogs that like to pick on Destructoid and the like, and there's a couple of them out there. I was just making a general, non-specific.
Are they hot?
About them. I don't know.
Are the blogs themselves hot?
The blogs are hot, yeah.
Do they have revealing layouts?
It doesn't matter, they don't have sex.
Can I go to the blogs and objectify the blogs themselves? Is that sexist if you objectify a feminist blog? Because it's not really an object,
Could you send them an email that says, get out of that URL and into my car?
Yeah. People were really quite angry and sexist about the Skyrim episode of Talking to Women About Video Games. They kept saying that the woman who didn't immediately like Skyrim at first sight, that she should get back in the kitchen. I was disappointed with the Skyrim fans. Didn't know they were so sexist.
Actually, I'm not disappointed.
I'm not familiar with them, really.
That sounds just perfect for them. I applaud them for sticking to tradition.
And they also said they thought the show was fake because there's no way that it could have been real that someone saw Skyrim and wasn't immediately excited.
Jonathan,
it must be scripted, they said.
Jonathan, let me ask you something. How many fish did you have in the video that you made?
It was just a quick clip of the guy with the hat there killing a dragon.
No. I mean, in the video itself, were there any fish, and was there a crafting system of any kind within your video?
Nope. There was no fish, no crafting system.
Did you actually show the dialogue tree on the screen as you were talking to this woman? Just because if you didn't, I don't think it was realistic enough for the Skyrim fans.
Yeah, it's not valid unless you're showing that what Max said. I was gonna continue his joke, but I actually had no material, so I'm just gonna reinforce what he said.
You know how dogs can't see their own reflections?
Oh yeah,
that's sort of how reality is.
Wait a minute, what?
They can see the reflection, but they don't know that it's them. They're like, "Oh, what's that dog doing over there?"
I've often wondered whether they know that or not.
No, apparently they don't.
See, my cat, she really hates the Wiimote. Like, she thinks the Wiimote is like a moth that's only in front of the TV. But she doesn't watch any shows with me or anything. Like, it's weird. And she does this creepy like predator clicking noise whenever she sees something she's trying to attack. It's like,
Oh, I love that sound. Yeah.
it's really creepy. It's like my cat is suddenly turning into like a werewolf cat, which is just a confusing animal. But yeah,
Yeah,
I'm just
that's
like,
great.
what's going on? And I'm just like, I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna play some Lego Indiana Jones here. Like, don't have to try and attack the screen. Creep me out.
Yeah, they make there is a video game just for cats. I can't remember what
Oh,
it's
for
called.
God's sake!
Yeah, and it's just a thing moving around on your screen.
Oh, I think I've seen that before, or maybe not a video game, but I've seen like DVDs you can buy for your pets that you leave on when you
Oh,
leave the
yeah.
house,
There's
and it's
that
like
too.
supposed to entertain them.
Yeah, this is a PC game. It's got, indie graphics.
Fucking elitist cats.
Do they have any? I'd love to build a gaming PC just for my cat. That just has like really big keys on the keyboard,
Yep.
and it's all made of carpet, so the cat can scratch the tower if it needs to.
The dogs are happy with a 360 because they're retards.
And it's all the graphics cards are cooled by a small saucer of milk. And then I'd make a console for a dog, which would just be a tennis ball. I'm gonna make a fortune making video game consoles for animals.
Yeah, if you can make them cheaply enough, there are hundreds of thousands of people that would buy them. Maybe not millions, but hundreds of thousands for
What
sure.
we need to do is we need to get a currency for animals to use and explain the idea of capitalism to them, and then they maybe will buy stuff.
It doesn't work. It does not work. Cats have no inherent concept of value, and that's their big problem. That's my problem, at least, with cats, is their lack of understanding of value.
What do you mean?
Yeah, why don't all those fucking cats just go to Burning Man or something? It's stupid.
Yeah.
My cats are fighting right now, actually. The man wants to have sex with the woman cat, and I think he does value that a lot. I mean, if you were to give my cat, say, you need to give me half a day's of cat food and you can have sex with this other cat, he'd do it.
No.
Easy.
So he's all about that pussy.
Hey!
So actually, you guys want to hear something really hilariously, stupidly embarrassing, just terrible?
Absolutely.
In my hallway, I always find the weirdest things. Like, people just leave garbage there, and I'm like, ooh, free garbage. The other day, they left out this large ceramic pedestal. It's about 6 inches high. It has sort of it's like a really little tiny Corinthian column. It's got little leaves and shit on it, but it's a pedestal. And I put it next to the cat's food dish, and I'm gonna try and put that pussy on a pedestal. That's what I'm gonna do. And when that happens, I'm gonna take a picture of it, just be like, I did that. It's a photo op, but it's an ongoing project. I've had it for about a week and a half now, and the cat still has not gone on the little.
You're such a planner. Yeah,
Every
you're
time
such
you
a-
say pedestal, I keep thinking you're going to say pedophile. And now all I can think about is a large ceramic pedophile.
That would be great.
Like a little ceramic figure of a guy wearing a shell suit and glasses and a flat cap with his thumbs up and his tongue sticking out.
Oh my god, my friend was telling me the worst story. He's kind of a weirdo anyway. He tells a lot of weird stories. I can't tell if he's a troll or just really a mean person or what the deal is, but he's my friend. But he was telling me he used to work at the Lego store.
Okay.
And they have a big pit of Legos where all the children go and play in the Legos. And he was saying how, he saw kids do the grossest. He saw kids peeing in the Legos and putting the Legos in their mouth and then pooping in the Lego. Just disgusting things.
Wow.
And, it was his job to be no. And then he'd sort of section off a portion of the Legos and throw them away and put out clean Legos. But at the same time, while the children were playing in these this fucking just cesspool of Legos, apparently there would be pedophiles who would just come into the store and just watch the kids play with Legos. And the people running the store knew about this, and they had a code name for the Lego people, and they were called ALFs, which are adult Lego fans.
Wow.
And they'd be like, "We got an ALF over by the the Aquanauts. Better go deal with that."
Wow.
Just be some guy who's just standing
So
there
Alf is a
watching.
code name for pedo then.
If they're
Only
a
in the
pedophile,
Lego store, yeah.
specifically in the Lego store. So a Lego maniac pedophile.
Yeah, I have shopped for Legos at the Lego store as an adult, and I have found that people are not too trusting of you just by virtue of you being a lone man, balding too. In fact, people are quick to tell me that I look more like a sexual predator because I am balding and sleepy looking, as though I chose to be bald,
Well,
or
the
that's the
thing is,
look I was going for, or something.
a lot of
Are bald?
pedophiles, they
Yeah.
shape their heads so that they look more like babies and are less suspicious.
Blend in at the nursery
Yeah.
and whatnot.
That's pretty
Yeah.
true. I read that on Yahoo Answers somewhere.
And they look sleepy because they're downloading gigs and gigs of child pornography, which isn't an actual joke, like Max said. It's just what they do.
Well, as you would guess, I've bumped into quite a few pedophiles in my travels as
So,
a worker, and there isn't really a profile in terms of.
oh! Oh!
Whoa.
I didn't even think to bring up paedophiles with you, Jonathan. Oh, brilliant! I am actually wringing my hands right now. Let's talk about the paedophiles.
You do? What sort of
It's Christmas! It's fucking Christmas!
we have already talked about video games, right?
Wait,
So
why do you see pedophiles at your work though? Like, do
well,
they?
the psychiatric hospital is generally for people whom have they're their own worst enemy in some way. That's pretty much the uniting factor.
Hey,
There's no,
I think
yeah.
I think they're children's worst enemy. To be fair,
Yeah, there's a case to be made for that, as with the other criminals who
I don't
come
know
in.
about I don't know about worst enemy though, because it seems to me that paedophiles are they're enjoying it.
You mean enjoying being a pedophile?
Yeah,
Like,
they must
wake up
love
this
it.
morning and they're like, here we go.
They must love it. They must wake up bright-eyed and bound out of bed to see the latest pictures that have downloaded on their computer overnight. They must. I to get into that, to do something that fucking gross. You've got to be in it for the love. You've got to have that. You've got to have that zeal. It's like a cameraman.
Wait,
It's like a television cameraman. It's like, dude, that is hard work. You've got to really love it. So to be I refuse. If any paedophile came up to me and said, I don't enjoy being and if any of you are listening, write in, right? But if any of you tell me that you don't enjoy being a paedophile, I'll be like, fuck off. There is no way you do that without a great big grin on your face.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
I would think they'd feel super guilty about it, and that's probably part of the reason why they're insane.
For the past 5 minutes, I've been trying to communicate while still being sarcastic that I don't think being a paedophile is great fun and we should all do it. But there was no way. It seemed the more I spoke, the more I was endorsing paedophilia, which I don't. I don't endorse it, but I think I've said it before on Podtoid that if you can stand to be around kids for that long, you probably deserve to fuck one or two of them. Just dip your hand in the cookie jar once or twice. No harm done. That's
no harm done.
Well, I mean, if they're really young, they'll forget. It's a whole thing.
God.
So anyway, as I was saying, I don't endorse pedophilia.
No, you do.
I'm just really excited to talk to a man who has hung out with them.
It's not that exciting. I mean, it's just they are mad about it usually.
Have you met Gary Glitter or not?
I have not.
Have you met any glam rock superstars or not? Have you met Bill Wyman?
Bill Wyman. Was he a pedophile then?
Probably.
I haven't met him. No.
He was doing stuff with some 13-year-old, but the parents were okay with it because it was Bill Wyman.
Oh, hey, Ted Nugent did that. He was like, oh, hey, look at that, a 14-year-old girl. Oh my God. And then he was like, goes to meet with their parents, and he was like, hey, I'm Ted Nugent. I'm a cat scratch fever. How about you make me the legal guardian of your daughter, and then I can marry her. That happened.
That's so creepy.
Hi, I'm Ted Nugent. I'm fucking your daughter. Wait a minute. Did you say you're Ted Nugent? Yes, I did.
I think that's kind of, if you found out that Ted Nugent was fucking your daughter, you'd probably be relieved that he wasn't chasing her through the woods with a fucking compound bow in attempts to like skin her and eat her. Oh, he's just fucking her? That's okay. He's not going to mount her and put her on his wall.
But it's like, it's not fair, though. I mean, it's like, if you're gonna let, like, Bill Wyman or Ted Nugent fuck your daughter, you should extend the same courtesy to a fat 50-year-old in a trench coat. I'm sorry, legally. Like, the law should say, okay, Bill Wyman or Ted Nugent, you can marry this 13, 14-year-old girl, but first, she's gotta have sex with Clemmy over there.
Clemmy?
Clemmy with his comb-over and bag of lollipops.
So what, like,
boy.
being a pedophile is like being in a gang, and you, I don't.
Look, I'm saying this is.
Is there like an initiation?
If you let
like,
one in,
No,
you
this
let
would be a
everyone in?
legal thing. This would be a legal thing. It's like the law, as a lawman, and I am a practitioner of the law. As a lawman, like I am, I couldn't stand by and let a 14-year-old girl like marry even a rock star if he's like 40 and she's like 14, 13. However, right, that's because the people involved aren't thinking about the implications. So, the parent... Oh, I burped when I talked. if the parents have to be made aware of what they're doing. Like, ignore the fact it's Bill Wyman or Roman Polanski or any famous guy, right? To be fair, I don't think Roman Polanski got permission from the parents, but whatever. If it is a famous guy, they'll be okay because they're just thinking, oh my god, it's a famous man. So first, as a lawman, I would say, as an ombudsman, I would tell the parents, First, your daughter is going to have to get fucked in the arse by this 60-year-old guy with a comb over and a neck beard. And like a Dora the Explorer tattoo on his bicep, right?
okay,
And
okay, I'm
if
gonna
you're
try
cool
and.
with that,
grossest.
and if you're cool with that, then she can marry Bill Wyman or
Jerry Lee Lewis. Yeah, he was one.
Or the other
Hey,
one.
so,
Yeah, Gary Glitter.
in an attempt to lighten the mood, or at least make it revolting in a different genre, my friend once called me up, and I was talking, and we're just making small talk, and he's like, "Oh, hey, funny thing happened to me the other day," and I'm like, "What was that?" He's like, "I ran out of toilet paper." That's really not that interesting, and he's like, "No, but guess what I had?" I'm like, "I don't know what." He's Dora the Explorer paper towels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how unsettling is that thought?
Oh, that reminds me.
Wow.
Talking about like domestic Dora the Explorer items. This is a game I actually wanted to bring up on Podtoid. Like
Really?
Because on the old Podtoid, I used to come up with funny little games for people to play, like Jacob's Ladder, which I think I've talked about on the new one as well.
I thought you meant a video game. Okay.
No.
sorry.
This is a fun, practical game for our listeners to enjoy, so they can take the fun of Podtoid, wherever they go. What you do, right, is you go into Walmart, Kroger, whatever kind of general store you have out there, right? Spend about an hour browsing in there, then go up to the counter, and it works best if you're like sorry, I don't want to be excluded and sexist, but it works best if you're a grown man, because you then go up to the checkout holding nothing but a Dora the Explorer toothbrush, and buy that. And then just catalog their face and write it down like the guy in LA Noire with a little drawing, and then just post it online and show your friends.
Wouldn't they just assume you were buying one for your daughter?
Huh?
I would think they would just assume you were a single dad.
Well, this is it. There would be a range of reactions. I want to know.
Okay,
right?
I got.
If you can buy a Dora the Explorer toothbrush at a Walmart just on its own, especially if you've been in there for a long time, and just see what happens, because I think there'll be a mixture of reactions. Some will be fine with it, others will be concerned.
I got one. Take a friend. It doesn't matter who you are, what age you are. In fact, it's probably more interesting depending on what kind of combination. If you have a friend who's much older, let's say, like let's go in there with maybe your friend's uncle. Like go in there to a store, and you go in together, and you make sure that the clerks see you like walking in together and talking, and then you split up, and one person buys a bottle of lubricant, and the other person gets like a cucumber or a banana or something, but you split up and go into different checkout lines. And this is best to do when it's like a slow day. I know this from experience. I did this because we thought it would be funny to put a a cucumber with a condom on it covered in Vaseline in my friend's mailbox. We did that, but it was weird going in there together.
Why
and kind of
didn't you
laughing
suggest
and
that
talking.
as the game?
Because maybe you don't have like a produce section or something. There's something shaped like a dick and something that's a lubricant, and then try and be sly about it because you can't. That was weird, especially in a small town where everyone's like, "Oh, hey man, I went to high school with you. I forget your name, but I know you just bought a condom and some Vaseline, or like a cucumber and some Vaseline."
Wow. Yeah. That's what this episode is like.
I
This
guess.
episode podcast.
Well, hey kids, why not put on a long coat and get to your granddad's gun stash, and then go to school with them, and
What?
and just show your guns to your friends. They'll think you're really cool.
Wow. Okay, I got one. This is something I actually did in grade school.
Okay.
I found out that original silly putty is just flesh colored. Like it's the color of. I mean, if you're like a white guy like me.
Yeah.
But I got some silly putty, and we made a really realistic looking penis out of it. And I sort of just suspended it from the fly of my pants and just walked up to a bunch of people on the playground.
How old were you at that point?
They were like, "What the fuck?" And then I grabbed it and stretched it out about 3 feet, and they were like, "What the fuck?"
They thought your scrotum was silly putty?
Did they think you
thought
were
silly putty was your scrotum?
Did you then convince them you were Mr. Fantastic?
Mr.
Yes.
Bombastic.
Yes,
Yeah.
I did. I don't know. It's one of those things where, it's like when you stick your finger out of your fly and pretend it's a penis.
And it's like
it's at first glance, that is the scariest thing. Pork loin works too, actually. For things
You
like
kept going.
penis. Yeah.
There was a pause, and you thought, nope, a little bit more of this. Pork loin.
You list off things that look like penises at first glance.
Sure,
Everything.
there's a lot of. Sure, almost
The world
everything.
around you.
Mm-hmm. They make that the penis.
I'd love to see like a David Attenborough show where he just talks about how everything looks like dicks. Like he's like, here's a cactus that's if you look closely, it looks like a Yeti's penis.
Well, they won't do that because they're afraid that it will somehow make someone horny or something, or that a kid will watch it. It's interesting to me.
I remember being in
That giraffe has possibly the biggest dong I've ever seen.
That would be so fun. Like that's the thing is, I think that science is so bad at making itself marketable, and then marketing is really good at taking science and making it stupid. That's why we have stuff like, I don't know, Meerkat Manor. Oh, it's a reality show about fucking meerkats, as opposed to like, how about a show that's like, what does this animal's dick look like? And it's very. I mean, it would be educational, but it would be like, hey, what happens if this happens? Like, what happens if you poke? Like, the Crocodile Hunter was onto something. Rest in peace.
Yeah. What was his name again? Bill Nye?
Bill Nye, the Crocodile Hunter.
Who did do a sexy show like that was Isabella Rossellini. She dresses up like different.
They made us watch that at art school so we wouldn't have it get STDs. Like that was legitimately. Yeah, I'm not even kidding.
Art school.
The one where seriously, goodness. It was like everybody meet in the the common room tonight. We're gonna have a very special meeting about safe sex, and we're gonna watch this video where Isabella Rossellini dresses up like a praying mantis and then eats another praying mantis's head or something.
And she talks about
free condoms, and it's
At
just
an
like
art school, isn't like having an STD a prerequisite?
Well, that's part of it. They don't want to spread them around. Man, art school. Man, can't believe that.
More like fart school.
Whoa.
Hey, we should set up a fart school. No, we shouldn't set up a fart school. What am I? I got really excited for like 3 seconds about starting up a fart school. And then realised that real life doesn't work the way I want it to work for that.
Hog farts. School of gascraft and queefery.
Wow, queefing too. Well, to me, watching a man play a sport.
You would be in Hufflepuff.
I'd be in Hufflepuff?
Hufflepuff.
Oh, thank you. Watching men. Why not? I like Hufflepuff. Sounds like Jigglypuff.
They're the goddamn special ed Hogwarts class. They are.
I like special ed people a lot. If you
fine. Have fun in Hufflepuff. I'll be over here in fucking.
Trust me, I will.
Gryffindor.
No, more like Sniffendor.
Oh,
Yeah,
because of the
Sniffendor.
Because
smell.
it's all fart themed. Sniffendor, Snifferine, and the others.
Oh yeah.
I just like a Ravenclaw. That's like a I don't know. That's not a good word for. That'd
They
be like
have-
a scary word for a fart. You
They
know,
have fucking talons anyway, so it was wrong.
that's one of
Do
those
they have
farts that
talons?
hurts your bottom when you fart it. Like, oh,
Oh,
it's a
those-
Ravenclaw. I ate a whole bird earlier, and now the claw is stuck in my butt, and it makes my fart smell like feathers. I don't know.
There was an old Saturday Night Live skit about a thing you put in your butt to make your fart smell like strawberries, and it wasn't that funny. But I really think they should just do that.
Why
would
did you
they
say
not-
it wasn't that funny? You said Saturday Night Live skit. That pretty much like renders it wasn't that funny obsolete.
This was Phil Hartman era. This is 20 years ago, and I thought it was funnier back then. I enjoyed the. Phil
Hey
Hartman
guys, I'm
movies.
going to pretend to be Sean Connery, but slightly rude. Ha ha ha! Saturday Night Live, you are American comedy at its finest.
Wow, that was a harsh
Okay.
attack.
That's I resent that.
Because you like Saturday Night Live.
America. I like it. SNL's okay. So I was actually watching the Roxbury guys. You know What
that-
is love?
Chris Kattan.
Yeah, Chris Kattan, Will Ferrell, and
and
they'd always have the
Mhm.
special guest, and they would be douchebags who went clubbing, and they just do
Uh-huh.
like the head bob, and they'd try and have sex with a girl, or they'd try and like dance with a girl, and she'd be like, okay, sure, and then they just fucking like crotch bump her with, and then they'd wind up at like an old folks home. Those are like really, the one with Jim Carrey is kind of brilliant. Like there's almost like no dialogue in it, and it's really funny. And I was watching that, and I was like, this is great. They had a show about like, it was like a funny thing they did, and it was these idiots who went clubbing, and they were obnoxious, and they tried to fuck everyone, and you really hated them, but they were kind of goofy because you watched them fail. And it was cool because you could imagine that it was a bit written by somewhat smart people who were like sick of those people dealing with them on Saturday
Sure.
nights or whatever.
Mhm.
And now we just have the Jersey Shore where they're like, let's actually go get some of those people. fuck writing jokes or bits or having anybody actually portray them in a comical manner. Let's just hire a camera crew to follow them around. And that is the decline of Western civilization. I'm sorry.
Well, there is a thing where people.
The thing is,
and-
you can't.
Yeah. Go
ahead.
please. No, you. I insist.
I was going to say, you can't really compare Jersey Shore with that because it's reality television. So it's like on par with Real World, not like SNL or anything. I mean, it's not sketch
Well,
comedy.
It just makes me
Speaking-
sad that it's like
That it exists, basically.
the whole concept of reality TV is like, instead of creating something, let's take what's already there and just sort of document it. Like it's like eating raw food as opposed to cooking something.
That's actually been my problem with nature documentaries for a long time. It's just, oh wow, it's a fucking tiger. I want to know about the tiger's feelings, you lazy cunts.
What happens if you put the tiger in an office?
Exactly. It's like, oh look, I always get them confused. David Attenborough. Oh look, he has shown a picture of a tree. Let's give him an award. Ooh, it's like conductors in orchestras. Lazy.
Whoa. Lazy. Lazy is so funny to me. Because someone will just be doing their job as well as they possibly can, like a conductor.
Hey, look,
It's not like
look, I'm not alone in thinking a conductor is... Like, he
I
just
think they're-
stands there, waves
not-
his arms about. The other people in the orchestra aren't even looking at him. They're just playing their tubas and their saxophones and their
Unnecessary.
electric guitars. And they
Yeah.
just stand there, like, waving their arms around like Michael J. Fox on Speed. And then they get the applause at the end. They get to bow. And they weren't even doing anything. They're just skating off the achievements of others. They didn't write the music. They're not up there playing the viola till their fingers bleed. Conductors are lazy.
I think my
Well,
favorite
let them-
video about
Oh.
nature is the video of Stephen Fry with a bird that's trying to have sex with his hair.
I haven't
Oh, I've seen that one.
It's
You see
pretty
that?
great.
That's
An
funny.
outtake.
That's a
Yes.
fun comedy like partnership that's only going to go from strength to strength. It's not like fucking David Attenborough just sitting on his fat ass, just watching a cheetah hunting a wildebeest, and he's going to let the cheetah eat that wildebeest. The wildebeest is like, oh man, help me out. It's David Attenborough, star of television. He's going to help me out. He's going to look after a friend. I've made him so much fucking bank. But no, it's like, thanks for the 10 grand, wildebeest. I'm just gonna watch you get eaten alive now and wank.
This is why fucking public broadcasting is always doing those goddamn fundraisers, because they don't know how to make interesting shit. If you had like a personality who was watching animals and they were like, "Oh my god, it's a cheetah! Look at the fucking cheetah! Holy shit, that cheetah is taking off! Where's it going? Where's it going? Oh, eating the fucking wildebeest!" And like, you make it interesting. You know, Honey Badger Don't Give a Shit is more popular than like, "I'm gonna draw animals grazing down plains."
What they need is a nature documentary superhero who steps in, who's like the
That's
cheetah
what I want to do.
chasing-
That's what I want my job to be.
And this guy, like, he just like drives his jeep and smashes it into the side of the cheetah, and he's
When I
like,
grow up,
"Fuck off, cheetah!"
I want to be a cross between Andrew WK and LeVar Burton. Like, that's my dream job. I just want to like, I want to get drunk and look at animals. Like, that's what I want to do.
Like, they say a leopard can't change its spots, but before it can eat that canoe, I'm gonna change its fucking face.
And then I'd give it like a cool makeover with some fake eyelashes, so it scared the shit out of the gazelles.
Wow.
I just think, you know, these fat cat nature documentary makers, right, sitting in their ivory towers, have made fat cheddar off of, like, the deaths of thousands of animals, like wildebeests and gazelles and antelopes.
Hey, man. Milo and Otis, they killed like 50 cats making that shit.
Hey, occupy the safari park, guys.
Why'd they kill all those cats?
They throw a goddamn cat off a cliff, and it's pretty clearly like a real cat. And I don't
think they killed cats in that movie.
I'm pretty
I
sure
think he just landed on a little mat down there.
Nope. You see him fall in the water, and you're like, wow, man, that cat's dying. That's like it. There's no way you can make. I love Milo and Otis. It's one of my favorite movies, but there's no way you can make it without hurting some animals.
Yeah.
And it was a Japanese movie, and you know that they're like, huh, what's more important, cute shit or fresh dolphin blood?
They do that. Fucking Tim Burton kills the penguin in Batman Returns. It just doesn't fucking end.
Wow, that was quite a run you guys just had. That was impressive. I was impressed.
I'm gonna have to run after I ate these M&Ms. I love it.
I just got an email from the Sierra Club, and sounds like they've canceled my subscription. So apparently I hate nature too much. I'm just kidding. I'm fucking joking. It doesn't. Fuck you. Shut up.
Sorry, I was confused.
Sign up
when I think Sierra Online right away. I forgot it was even a nature thing. Yeah. There's so many things. What? Sierra Online? They made video games. There's so many things I wanted to say to you guys in that.
Speaking of Sierra, I just want to address this. Right, we're not changing. We're not changing the intro music.
We're not.
We got new intro music, which is from a Sierra published game, Metal Arms Glitch in the System. It's one of my favorite video game tracks of all time. I think it suits the show better because Skillrex or Skrillex, whatever you call him, is like far too badass for what we actually are.
Yeah, it's true.
So I changed it to something that is still like cool. It's still a toe tapper. You can still take your girlfriend down to the discotheque and jam to it, but it's a bit more, you know, just a bit less edgy and more fun. And I'm keeping it. And fuck all y'all who like are afraid of change and don't want to like accept anything different when it's just 15 seconds of a show that goes on for far too long anyway. Just skip over it if you don't like it. I like it. It's staying. I'm not changing it. You twats. Never listen again, any of you. And even if you like it, just go. I'm sick of it.
Whoa. Wow. Well, isn't that customary to change the theme song to your show every, 6 months or something?
When it's starting to go on the downslide, yeah.
Cosby Show.
To be honest, I'm about 10 episodes too late, but I'm still putting it in there.
Yeah, there's a lot of different Cosby Show riffs and jams.
Ooh.
Yes.
Do you want to hear my impression of Bill Cosby?
I do.
I'm Bill Cosby.
I don't get it.
What?
I don't think you heard it. Tara.
I've never heard him say that before, though.
Tara. I'm Bill Cosby.
Oh, I see it now.
There we go. She gets it. Bit slow on the uptake, but she gets it now.
I had an idea.
You did.
Bill Cosplay.
Whoa! Why hasn't that happened yet?
And it would just be like you'd be different anime characters, but you'd be wearing a big
Yeah.
sweater.
He's played a lot of different characters. Leonard Part 6,
No, he
Ghost
hasn't.
Dad, Ghost
No,
Dad,
it's got to be. I like the way
Love
Max
Spy.
is going with this. I want to see someone
Have I-
dressed up as like Char Aznable, but with a Jello pudding cup.
That'd be hilarious. That'd be awesome. I love Char. He's great.
I sort of know about him. He's got a little helmet on, right?
Yeah, he has the
Yeah.
Zaku. All of his shit is red. He's like, I'm such a good pilot that paint all my shit red. They're like, yeah, but that makes it really easy to see it, and you can't hide. I'm Char Aznable. Look at my helmet. I have boots and a little cape.
Gundam, right? Yeah,
yeah.
Gundam. Yeah, got it.
Funny thing
Gundam.
happened. So I don't. You guys, I didn't. When I was growing up, I didn't have my dad around. That was like the thing that happened, and simultaneously, my best friend had a really hot sister. And I remember when we were like teenagers, I was like, hey, Chris, your sister's really hot. And he'd be like, every time you say that, I'm just gonna start making fun of you not having a dad. And I'm gonna be like, that's okay, I can live with that. And I'd go, hey, Chris, your sister's really hot. And he goes, hey, what was that movie they made about you? Oh yeah, Ghost Dad.
Whoa!
And I was just like, well played, good one, good job.
Nicely done. Personally, I'm just relieved the story didn't end with the sister turning out to be your dad, which I was afraid of.
God, that'd be
Could
weird.
have happened. Sure. Yeah.
Imagine that. That would be a great Bill Cosby vehicle. My dad is my best friend's hot sister.
I overheard a patient today saying that he traveled into his mother's vagina in order to stop.
Wait. Did he say vagina?
Yeah. He said, I traveled into my mother's vagina in order to stop the 9/11 trade attacks. It was the only way to give birth to my older brother.
Excuse me a minute.
Yes. It's a good job. People wonder why I do it. Hard fly. I gave him some nerd candies and said, tell me more. He said, oh, these are good candies. It calmed him down because he was going to try to escape. Because it's really important that he get back into that vagina and, stop things that happened 10 years ago.
I'm back. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Did it work?
Did his plan work?
Yeah, I haven't checked the news lately.
From what I know, unfortunately, that all that stuff did happen. Yeah, he's all right guy. He's got a little mustache.
Oh, okay. That must have tickled.
What do you mean? Oh, and the vagina. Right.
Yeah, it was a whole thing.
Virgina.
Hey guys,
Sorry. Yes.
did we want to talk about anything today?
We talked about video games almost at the start.
We talked about video games almost. Is that... I was going to make a James Edward Almost joke, but then I forgot his name, and so it didn't work. But imagine I made that joke and then laugh, and then it's done.
Yeah,
I have got to do the winners.
Oh, that's right, for the Alien Infestation contest.
We did.
Mm.
Last week, we have got 5 copies of Aliens Infestation to give away, along with a lenticular image of a xenomorph jumping on a marine and doing his thing. I got tons. I got loads of entries, so that's awesome. Kind of, because my inbox was just full of, just subject header, aliens haiku, aliens haiku, aliens haiku, xenomorph haiku, haiku for aliens, Podtoid contest. Instantly, I regretted not telling them to have a unifying subject title so that I could find all the emails 5 days later. But,
yeah, we just recently learned that with our contest on the show.
Yeah,
And even if you tell people to do that, they still won't, so it doesn't even matter.
Oh yeah, as evidenced by the amount of people that sent me limericks, or full-on fucking long, lengthy poems that could give Beowulf a run for its money.
Yeah, guess what? Those get disqualified.
And unfortunately they do, because we did, of course, ask for a haiku. Now, I do agree with one guy who basically said, haikus fucking suck, have a limerick. That is... I agree. I said last week I'm not a fan of the haiku, but rules is rules. So I'll just do them right quick. If I read your name out, reply to the email you originally sent and give me your mailing address. I need a US shipping address so I can give it to Sega and they can give you your stuff. So, first winner is Joseph Carlino, who his haiku sort of delves into the mind of a xenomorph. So his is, penis for a head, kind of embarrassed by it, kill all who see me. Which I thought was kind of cute.
It's very cute.
Yeah. So that's Joseph Carlino. Brian Farris wrote, drones live to serve her. What is Holmes' ethnicity? Sweet, sweet second mouth.
What?
I'm going to pretend...
Sweet second mouth, I think, right?
I'm going to pretend that last line was still about Jonathan.
Wow.
Eric Swishy, xenomorphs haunt dreams. They chase me through Hadley's Hope. Fuck, I pissed the bed.
Good surprise ending. That's very good.
That's Eric Swishy. Kyle Nybo did Xenomorphs burst forth, death comes upon Nostromo, in space, screams not heard. Which I like just because there was no grammatical sense in the last line. And Jake Jakubowski was actually the first one to send one in, and I had to go for it because it's just... So he definitely wins. And that's Jack Jakubowski. So I'll just read out their names once again. Joseph Carlino, Brian Farris, Eric Swishy, Kyle Nybo, Jake Jakubowski. Please respond to the emails you originally sent me with your US shipping address, and I will get you those prizes. And thank you, everyone who actually sent stuff in. There was, like I said, there was a ton of you, and some of them were pretty hard to sort of pick from. You know, there were some good ones. So, yeah, thank you. Maybe we'll do another contest, and then I won't fuck it up like I did and give people my personal email address.
Oh, yeah, I was worried when you decided to do that.
It's just my work email now just full of aliens haikus.
Yeah.
And
we're having a contest on the show right now to ask people to send in limericks for Modern Warfare 3, since we're giving away an Xbox and a copy of the game. Maybe that's why people sent in limericks.
Yeah.
Yeah, there could be some crossover
What's funny is
confusion
that we said very specifically, put the subject of your email as MW3 Limerick. That was what we said, and they send in other things that are not that, which is just you don't get a free Xbox because you didn't follow the fucking directions. We're not the DMV. This isn't you need to fill out a fucking 1180B form. You filled out the wrong form. No, you fucking you have to write a fucking limerick about Modern Warfare and... Sorry, I'm just
That's
mad.
all you got to do.
I've totally sent lots of emails, though, without attaching stuff. I do that constantly.
That's different, though. That's
we've got no right, though, because even in Destructoid's internal emails, when Dale or Nick before him would send an email to the staff that says, who can make it to this event or this appointment, please just reply to me, don't reply all, and the very next reply will be a reply all from someone.
What's funny, I really wish we could share more of the work emails we have, because they'll just be so off topic and retarded, and then Dale will intervene and be like, this needs to stop now.
And it's not like there's enough of that on Podtoid, so we should definitely read those out. I always feel really guilty when all the the intern writers start they start joking around, and then I join in, and then Conrad comes in and just goes, "Stop it right now." Sorry, jeez. Conrad is a serious man. He's a serious man.
He's got a great sense of humor, but
he's got a great sense of humor, but it's like a knife. It's you'll laugh and then you'll bleed from your throat and die.
Yeah. I
love Conrad. He's been doing amazing work with the interns and playing loads of connector games for me that I will never ever play. I've been mailing him stuff all week, fucking Ubisoft's Power Up Heroes and Connect Sports 2 and Pussy.
Oh boy.
We're gonna have to sort it out with something awesome to make up for it.
So there's things we could still talk about.
What?
I was interested what you guys thought about Nintendo's profits sinking.
I think
it's their stocks actually going up. Okay. The first person I ever heard who used that term was a French au pair.
It's a banking. Wait, your French au pair called something.
There was a French au pair. She was like, hello, how are you? I'm like, good. She's like, my friend says I am the cum dumpster. I'm like, what?
What?
My friend says we do this, and then she starts like making all these sexual motions, like moving the tongue inside of the mouth while putting the hand near the mouth.
Wait. Okay, first of all, was she cute?
Not really.
Oh boy.
She wasn't like the revolting. She did really good like cartwheels and handstands. This is the same one we'd go to McDonald's and she'd be like, one large cock. I'd like say French fry and a large cock, please. It's adorable.
Always a classic.
Yeah, I liked her a lot. But yeah, she suddenly started talking about how she's a cum dumpster. Just in casual conversation. Like, okay, is that fun? She's like, oh yes, it's very good. Then she suddenly started talking like that, which was a little different accent.
Yeah.
Oh yes, please. Anyway, I'm sorry, Max. I totally hijacked your story. What were you going to talk about? Do you think it's a cum dumpster?
I was totally trying to derail that story, so thanks for going along with it.
I helped you then. I thought I hurt you. I helped you?
Yeah. I'll tell you my first thought about Nintendo's profits going down.
Way down.
Way down. Way down, son. Iwata came out, and he had some splaining to do. So he went to his shareholders, and he splained. And he was told today that it came out that he was like, we've got games, but we're holding on to them because we don't want to release everything at once, which is fair comment. It sounds like Luigi's Mansion and Kid Icarus are ready to go, and they're not doing it till next year because they've got Mario Kart 7 and Mario 3D Land coming out, which of course doesn't explain the several months before December where nothing came out at all. And Nintendo of America in particular wouldn't bring out games that are already localized at all.
For the Wii, you mean?
For the Wii as well.
Yeah.
And for the 3DS, when he said, he had acknowledged that there wasn't enough games coming out, and he was like, well, balancing is really hard, and, we should have had a thorough backup plan. And it's great that Nintendo is... They're really good at showing humility when they should. But when he said we should have had a thorough backup plan, all I could think about was, what is the fucking eShop? If not a fucking backup. Wouldn't it be great if we had a library of classic handheld games and a digital platform?
Right.
I'm just going to power through that.
Yeah.
And a digital Denver the Last Dinosaur platform from which we can sell these games. It's like if only we had award-winning franchises like Mario and The Legend of Zelda and games that they were on NES or Game Boy and things like that, and we could put them on the internet and people would buy them so they could have something to do with their 3DS while they wait until December. But we don't have one.
Didn't they say? And their thing about the eShop they're excited about wasn't necessarily actually putting all their legacy games on there, was that you can buy eShop games from your smartphone or your PC now, therefore encouraging you to not touch your 3DS even more and go on to platforms that have cheaper, more readily available games. I get into the backwards logic of it. I
basically want them to advertise that on TV with the tagline Nintendo 3DS offering you more ways to not give a shit.
Yeah, I was sad about that. It's a cool idea, but it speaks to their lack of understanding of the consumer's interests right now when it comes to their product.
Where are my Game Gear games?
I think they're in a safe room, and they don't have any connection to what's going on outside, and they're just pretty much just guessing about how things are going.
Well, it's weird because they've taken risks in the past, and everyone thought they were nuts, and then they paid off. So they've got this confidence about their instincts, and it's just not working right now for them at all. And more so, I can't believe they just let no Wii games come out at all this year. How many? 3 Nintendo games,
Yeah.
Nintendo published Wii games came out this year.
It was fucking stupid, and they're content to sit back and blame it on the Wii U, but the Wii U isn't a guaranteed success, guys. It's not.
You know why? 'Cause they're fucking redesigning the goddamn thing.
Yeah,
They're
well,
redesigning it.
Well, they're like, oh, that big thing we revealed, it wasn't done. We got a different. This is thing, you know.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I wonder
They
how
might,
different.
they might look exactly the same and just have some technical tweaking, but like,
Sure.
they like to show things off before they're finished, and in some cases release them before they're finished. So there's that.
Yeah, they're excited about getting their stuff out
yeah.
there.
I
But
mean, you can't. That's it. You can't have a year where you're doing nothing and then pin it all on a new console coming out. That's ridiculous. It's
Yeah.
like, everyone's thinking about the 360 and the new Xbox and the new PlayStation being announced next year, but they've not stopped. The consoles haven't, like the new current ones we haven't stopped.
Sure.
The Wii more or less stopped. And yes,
This
we've
year,
got stuff coming out now after the financials. Not a
what, 2
lot.
games? Sure.
Kirby and Zelda. And
Yep.
and I almost said something about Zelda then, and I'm not going to. I'm going to wait till I can say it. But I've got some things to say about that. But, it's not enough. And you can't, especially Nintendo of America, like, that's where the sales drop the hardest. And I get it. Like, I don't think Xenoblade would turn Nintendo's fortunes, like, 180 degrees.
Sure.
But having a product on the shelf is better than having nothing. And that's what the Wii has had. And that's how the Wii's going to go out now, with this little whimper, this nothing.
That's how it seems.
And that's not that's not how you build interest in your company. It's like you've got the Wii U coming out, but in the meantime, Nintendo's still got to be in people's brains, and
Exactly.
they've had no reason to be in people's brains. If I was coming out with a new console, I would make sure a buttfuck ton of new games were coming out on the old console, so people can think, holy shit, I'm really enjoying this Wii. I can't wait to see what they do with the next one. It's going to be even more amazing. But now it's like, people have had no reason to touch their Wii, so it's like, oh, ha penis, whatever. And now, I'm not excited about the Wii U like I was, because
your interest has gone down a lot.
Nintendo isn't in my brain right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting because it seems totally non-intuitive that they would be making new games for a console that's going to be, phased out, basically.
Well, so a lot of these games are already done. I mean, Rhythm Heaven Wii is done. I have it. Last Story is done. Xenoblade is done. Pandora's Tower is done. All those games could have just come out this year.
I see.
And some of them, I think, actually would have sold pretty well. Not really well, but at least, 500,000, close to 1 million. But Nintendo of America is doesn't think that's even worth their time. But what they're missing out on is, in the future, I don't think anyone is going to make any money off selling video games unless not only do they make good video games, but they have an audience that cares about them, feels connected to them. I think I've said that before. We're all just going to be able to pirate everything within we can do that now, but it's going to be even easier in 5 years. So people are only going to bother spending money on things if they actually like the people that are making the thing that they're buying. That's why Minecraft sold so well, and that's why the humble indie bundle sells so well on PC, and that's why every Valve product sells so well, because people actually like those guys.
Well, people don't mind giving their money to companies that they know aren't evil and will do something, use it to make better games.
I see what Holmes said. Nintendo lost a lot of goodwill when it
exactly
a lot of goodwill, lost a lot of faith, and it's I'm not surprised that North America saw the biggest losses for Nintendo, because at least Europe and Japan had some products on the shelves. And no, I mean, they still lost money in those territories, but they didn't lose as much, because at least they were selling something, which is better than selling fuck all. It's this little thing I know about called business.
Sell a thing to make money?
Sell a thing to have sold a thing. If you want to sell something, sell something. That's a bit of logic that Nintendo can take home and keep in its pocket, and they can have that for free. So
I think what really worries me is that they somehow thought that, if we release Last Story on the Wii, then that's going to take away attention from the 3DS, because we'd rather have people buying Steel Diver right now. Steel Divers are hot marquee product right now. I really hope that's not where their brains are at. Yes.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's like, and I've had discussions with Nick Chester about this, about whether or not Xenoblade would have made any sort of difference. But it's like it sold pretty decently in Europe, as far as I could tell. It's like
It sold out for a month.
there
Yeah,
you go.
yeah.
And I look at games like Demon Souls as the gold standard when it comes to producing less mainstream games. Only produce to supply. That's what they did with Demon Souls, and it was a huge success. No, it didn't make millions of dollars, but because they produced it wisely, it was still a success on its own, like, humble level. And that's what you do with something like Xenoblade, is you make a limited run. When they sell out, if they sell out, you make more. And that's and I refuse to believe Nintendo doesn't grasp that. They are basically the kings of undersupply.
Well, the thing that pains me about them is I get the sense that they believe they're going to look like a bigger, better company if they don't even bother with those kinds of smaller games, which is not how Nintendo Japan works at all. Nintendo Japan puts out Fatal Frame 4 and Captain Rainbow and whatever. They just keep putting out games as long as they are passionate about them, even if they're not going to be big. But Nintendo of America, I just get the sense that unless Beyonce is advertising it or it's going to sell 10 million copies, they think it's going to like make them look like they've lost it unless their games are always big, which is painful.
Yeah.
That's not who they used to be, and that's not who I want them to be going forward. I really hope that doesn't happen.
To be honest, I'm beginning to think Reggie needs to F
Hit
off.
the road.
It's like
Yeah.
I like Reggie as a personality. I think he's fun to watch, and he looks like he is made out of meatballs, which is amusing to me. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I have a feeling Iwata is eventually, not before too long, is going to get forced to step down, and I almost think it shouldn't be him taking the fall for like other people's mistakes.
Yeah, especially given that it's been, like you said earlier, the Americas where the real beating has gone down, from what I can tell. So that's Nintendo. Did you guys want to talk about... Jim, did you want to tell me about Sonic Generations? I read your review, but is there anything you didn't get to write in there that you wanted to tell us about it?
No.
I can't decide whether I want to get it or not.
It's good fun. It is good fun. It's surprising.
But even the best Sonic games, I'm not totally in love with.
Well, then don't buy it.
But I want to like Sonic. I do.
Well, you can't.
I mean,
why not?
Well, here's the thing. It's like, I'm a guy who wasn't a big... I've never been a big fan of the 3D modern Sonic levels. But the ones in this, apart from some of the final stages, I loved. I really liked it. So maybe when was the last Sonic game you played?
It's weird. I've always preferred Knights to Sonic. I like the simplicity of Sonic in general, but after Sonic 2, the level design just seemed to get less and less interesting to me.
So have you not played the modern stuff?
I played Sonic Colors. I played Sonic and the Secret Rings. I played a little bit of Sonic Unleashed. I bought it and then I played it for a little while. I was like, it's okay. It's just they're very.
So you didn't like Sonic 3?
Sonic 3, it was okay. I like Sonic 3 second best. It's like Sonic 2, 3, Knuckles, and then 1, and then. Why are you so sad about me not liking Sonic 3?
7 rings in hand, Sonic is running really fast. Oh yeah!
I was such a bad journalist when we went to that Sonic.
Blue. He is running really fast with his red shoes. Here comes Eggman, run and hide, Sonic. Chase your rainbows, don't give up. Your friends are here. Friendship will save you.
Hey.
Yes.
Hey.
Yes.
So I read. I think you guys were on Twitter talking about Gex or something, and I was bored. And I was on the train.
Me and Megastrike were. Yeah, me and Tony.
That was it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I like that you call him Megastrike, not Tony.
That's how I know him. Well, that's
Tony
how I knew him first. Tony Pons.
Poncy Pons. Yeah. So I was like bored on the train. I was like, I don't know a damn. Or he said it was a D-list voice actor. I forget who it was who did the voice of Gex, but I was like,
something.
A D-list voice actor? They got Leslie Phillips to do the fucking voice of Gex.
I thought it was Dana something.
I mean, D-list comedian or something.
Yeah.
Hang on, which Gex is this? Because the Gex I remember was voiced by Leslie Phillips, a very well-respected British actor.
This was in the Americas. I think it was a different voice actor, Jim.
Really doesn't matter. The point of my story is I went to the Wikipedia page and I read the entire article about Gex. And Gex has like the most fucked up backstory possible. Like straight up, it's like, yeah, so Gex grew up with his family in Hawaii. He had a mother and two brother and sister, and his father worked for the space program. Then his father died, and the whole family moved to Los Angeles. And Gex got really depressed and just started watching TV all the time. And his mom told him he was watching too much TV, so he ran away. And then all of a sudden he inherited a whole bunch of money, and then he bought the world's biggest TV, and then got sucked into the TV. Like someone was like, let's write that. Like let's have that much backstory.
I miss when video games had that though. Those just really convoluted, stupid backstories.
It's like finding out that Crash Bandicoot's like a recovering alcoholic and that he doesn't have custody of his kids, or that Mario is under like the chemical castration program. Like it has nothing to fucking do. Like wow, the idea of like Gex being like a fucking homeless child in the streets of LA, that's fucking depressing.
The giant
and then
TV.
It's like, oh yeah, but never mind. That has no fucking effect on anything. Let's have him just have a giant TV, and then he has to fight the TV people or something.
Yeah, it was back in those days when it's like the story didn't really factor into the game, but they needed to fill pages on the manual, so they just wrote whatever in the manual. I mean, that's how Sonic's backstory happened on the Genesis games. That's going to annoy the British listeners. It's called a Genesis, idiot. Get with the program, yeah. It's like Sega of America wrote that whole stuff about Mobius and Dr. Robotnik turning evil from being good and all this shit.
I don't even know that.
Yeah, and in Japan it's always been set on Earth, and he's always been called Dr. Eggman and all this stuff. And but Sega America came up with this whole backstory that most of the American kids know, and now that when they see the modern Sonic set on Earth and fighting Dr. Eggman, they think that's a travesty of justice. It's actually not. Although that said, I prefer Dr. Robotnik to Eggman because
it's just got a better ring to it.
Video
game.
They actually reference that in Sonic Generations. They have
the Robotnik Eggman split.
They've got a Dr. Eggman and a Dr. Robotnik in it, like two versions.
Oh, like a modern Sonic and classic Sonic.
Yeah, and I just realized that was kind of a big spoiler.
Yeah, it was. Oof.
I might have to beep that out.
I don't think you should. Come on, the game's already out. We're on the internet.
What are Sonic fans gonna get mad at you?
But either way, like old school Tales calls Eggman Robotnik, and then he's like, nobody calls me that anymore. Which
is there classic Tales and modern Tales too?
Yeah, that's not a spoiler. That was known, so I can say.
Oh, I didn't know that. No, that's cool. In the olden days, there's my metaphor. Video game stories used to be like British television or cartoons. It didn't matter. It wasn't gonna make you any money either way, whether the story was good or not. Because British television's like non-profit, right? It's like a government thing. It's like government cheap.
It's publicly funded.
So they can just put whatever they want on there. It's fine. And I prefer stories like that because people will take the true risks if they're not trying to think about making the money and really be themselves too. Not think about what's marketable. Like Richard Attenborough, he's just doing his thing. He doesn't care about making no money. Just wants to look at that tiger. Richard.
He cares. He sits there on his wad of fat gorgonzola watching eels get strangled by crabs. Profiting.
Did that happen? That sounds like a cool show.
That's like a good episode. Yeah.
Electric Strangler versus
the crab monster.
I don't know if a crab has ever strangled an eel. I don't want to implicate anyone. But Dana Gould did the voice of Gex. I'm sure everyone's been wondering. And he stayed as the voice of Gex in North America, whereas in the sequel in Europe, Leslie Phillips took over for the first sequel, and then the next one was Danny John Jules, otherwise known as the Cat in Red Dwarf. So there's your facts.
You know your facts all right. Yeah. Do you remember the old storylines of G.I. Joe? Like when there was the Wiper?
Didn't Cobra do evil things, and then they stopped?
Yeah. They had a rock band called Cold Slither. They just wrote whatever they wanted back then, and kids would watch it because, like, oh, the colors are on.
And then
And the lasers and the
I like
explosions.
it when they were
I
like
want that back.
when
Yeah.
when Cobra was like they're trying to destroy America, they're trying to fuck up everything, and they're trying to really just they're just evil. They're an evil organization. That's what they're there for.
Yeah.
And then there's that episode where, oh no, there were drug dealers, and Cobra and G.I. Joe teamed up against the drug dealers because God knows.
This was even worse evil.
I love it when they do that.
Remember in the 1980s when Ronald Reagan arrested all the drugs and put them in jail, and then we haven't had any crimes since then?
I had a dream the other night that I was
all the terror. We had to go on war with the terror. So
yeah, that's a new thing.
I had a dream the other night that I was a big robot fighting Cobra Commander.
That sounds really fun.
He was like, I'm going to get you! And I'm like, well, I'm a big robot. And then I punched all the different Cobra troops. And he was like, ah! Cobra!
I had a dream that I went to the store to buy antidepressants, but then I got home and I looked at the bottle and it just said antidepressants. I was like, huh, well, that's weird. And then I found out that I had ants, and I started spraying these antidepressants everywhere. And the ants just got so depressed that they stopped moving and died. Like it wasn't like they died out. They weren't smart enough to be depressed, so they just stopped doing anything. They just stopped where they were. Depression.
Sure,
it was weird.
Yeah, and you're getting seasonal depression is sinking in for you. I know.
Yeah, it happens to me. It sucks. It's really shitty.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And some people do that thing, and they're like, depression's just in your head. And it's like, yeah, well. So is schizophrenia. So is having a fucking brain tumor. What's your point?
Yeah,
but
people.
It's just a weird thing where I won't want to do anything. And I was thinking for me, I'll be I still have to eat and sleep, and I realize I have to go to work and do stuff, and I force myself to do things. But let's say ants got depressed, but they weren't smart enough to do that, or you managed to depress the entire hive mind, so they just would just stop where they were and just not move. They would
that's what antidepressants would do. It would be a good ant killer. Sure, just
it would be a really weird kind of.
But then they wouldn't. Then they would stop making delicious ant honey.
I've never had delicious ant honey. Is that a real thing?
It's brilliant. Ant honey is the best thing ever.
That's not a real thing. You just made that up.
Fuck off. Have you ever had ant honey or not?
He hasn't. She hasn't.
No, because it doesn't exist.
What do you mean it doesn't exist?
Well, let's settle this. Where do you get it, Jim? So I can go get some tonight.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I get it from Kroger, but you don't have Kroger. Well, I mean, what's the equivalent of that out there? I mean, it's like a grocery store. It's like Walmart, but better food.
Can I go to Walmart and get it, or Target?
No, you wouldn't get ant honey at Walmart.
No, that's too bad.
Some people call them ants. I call them floor bees because they're always making ant honey.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun. I can't believe I'm going to
Sarah, how come you've never heard of ant honey?
I've never heard of it either.
I swear to God, I had no idea that existed. What does it taste like?
I don't know. I made it up.
Damn
it. You son of a beast.
I do this to my wife all the time. It's I'll just say something, but I say it with such conviction, and it's so stupid. Nobody with a brain should make it up. So I'll tell her, hey, Mickey, you're so funny, you'll blow my mind, will come on the radio, and I'll tell her that was written about Mickey Rourke, and I'll say it with such conviction, she'd be silly not to believe me.
Yeah.
I googled ant honey, and there's apparently some, I guess, R&B artist named Anthony, but spelled like ant honey as one word.
That's Anthony Birch. Gotta be.
I want to go to. I'm at his MySpace right now. He has a song that's called "Would If I Could," except it's spelled Wud W-U-D. If I could, C-U-D.
What
if I could?
If I could? Is he a cow? I actually thought it would be Wood spelled W-O-O-D, and it would be about male performance anxiety.
Oh, that would be a good one, actually.
Yeah, that would be a good plan.
That would be a good. Yeah, it'd be like the Dicker Picker up.
I would if I could. My dick is floppy. R&B sounds.
I have an idea. What if you made a thing that was like gum, but it was made of meat? It was like a mixture of beef jerky and chewing tobacco, and you just called it man cud.
It would be pretty popular, at least initially.
Sounds like chewing tobacco.
Man cud.
Sure, people love just putting something in their mouth and being like, "It's in there." Now I'm chewing it. I don't care what it is.
Like,
It's weird.
I've
seen it happen.
I smoke cigarettes on and off, and I feel guilty about it. But one thing I could never get behind was
Guilty?
chewing to because it's so horrible. It's the worst.
You're not
thing.
doing anybody to anyone but yourself. There's no guilt.
I know. I feel guilty about it.
regret. Maybe regret. You've had a
Yes,
few.
I feel guilty for people who care about me, and they're like they don't want to see me do,
Sure. No, that's different.
because I'm reckless and stupid and stuff I do on my own. That's one thing, but that's like it's stupid. Don't smoke cigarettes.
You
They're fun.
You should take better care of your body, and these M&Ms are delicious.
Yeah, I'm drinking the Mountain Dew throwback right now, which is made with real sugar instead of that that awful corn sugar.
Yeah.
So it has
they
a
stopped
picture of
making it. What?
it has a hillbilly on the bottle.
Oh, I've seen that. I didn't drink it,
Yeah.
but I saw it.
I'm drinking Pepsi Slurm made with real ant honey.
I so believed ant honey was a thing. Like they took the larva and like added confectionery sugar or something and mushed it up. People do things. Jim, I forgot to ask permission. You knew I was using an image of you in the latest talking to women about video games, but
Has anyone had any alligator milk or not?
I forgot to actually ask you if this is okay.
Okay.
I explored your creative process, Jim.
What?
Sterling. I explored your creative process in the.
Oh,
art
so
of
that's
writing.
why my arsehole is sore.
Oh goodness.
And I said that I knew with certainty, even though I didn't, because I didn't bother to ask you first, because I just made it up as I went along, that you, because you've interacted with so many art game snobs, that's why you were able to so accurately satirize them with Virgilio Armando. Is that his name? Armandielio. What's his last name again?
Armandio. It's,
okay. I
yeah. I haven't really interacted with them, unless pointing and laughing is a form of interaction.
Well, you've explored their way of thinking and exchanged ideas with them. I've seen you do it. I've seen you do this, right?
I had an argument with Patrick Klepek on Twitter once.
Yeah, and the Jason Roher, you had an exchange with him, and then he wore a scarf. That was cute.
Oh no, that was Rod Humble.
Oh, I mixed those two up.
He's
Sorry, guys.
actually awesome.
Yeah,
I've certainly studied their methods and their culture and their ways.
Right, and that study did involve some interaction, because the whole point of my new thing is telling people telling people to just not be like them. Like, don't be like you, be like me. That doesn't add to very good discussion. It doesn't teach you anything either. It's really boring. People just don't like people being different than them and tell them to stop.
Unless they're Elder Scrolls fans, then you're not allowed to be like them at all.
I think some of them are really good, the Elder Scrolls fans. I'm very interested. I've been interested in you guys, even though you're different from me and you're interested in that game in a way that I'm not. I've been more interested in understanding why you want to play that game than actually playing the game. And that remains true. I think that's a very interesting thing.
Wait, what?
Want to play that
What's so hard to understand, though, about why people would want to play it?
It's like a lot of things. I don't understand why people want to watch baseball. It's like, why are you just watching the guys?
Well,
just do
baseball is
stuff?
boring. So
Right, and Elder Scrolls is like, oh, I'm walking, oh, I fell down, oh, I killed a thing, oh, now I'm in a cave. Like,
what I like about it,
it,
it's how you talked about in Dragon, what is it, Monster Hunter, where you're like, where you just walk around and there's like, you're just out in the middle of nowhere. You're like exploring. It's like that. You're exploring.
I like that about
time,
that was
you kind of get to use your imagination in the game. I mean, it's the closest you're going to have to an MMO without actually being online with a bunch of fucking idiots running around.
So it's the freedom and exploration of an MMO without actually having. It's like a lonely MMO, MM only.
Yeah, it's like that, but there's a story in there. I mean, it's like being in Lord of the Rings, and you can go and do the whole, we have to go fight Sauron, we have to go do this. And if you don't feel like that, then you can be like, I think I'm going to become a farmer, or like I'm just gonna sit here and make swords all day. Maybe you're scared of monsters and you don't want to go fight them, so instead you decide to cook. You want to be a cook. It's a role playing game. Like you can play whatever role you want, really. If you want to be the guy who jumps up on tables while families are eating dinner and runs back and forth on the table and knocks over all their food while they're eating it, you can be that guy. And believe me, I have been that guy. It's really funny.
Yeah, I'd imagine you would be that guy. Yeah, huh. So it's a place you can just be who you want to be.
And fight werewolves.
It's a place where everyone knows your name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I don't...
You know how they don't have gay marriage in real life? Well, they do in Skyrim.
There's never been gay marriage in real life. Video games did it first.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't even know how to... I've been trying to, do marriage, and I don't know how. Is there a... I guess you can't... I mean, you can... Have you done it yet, Max?
In Skyrim you're talking, or real life?
No, real life. And what does it look like when a girl, takes off her, underpants? Does she have, like a dinkus like I do, or not? What's it like?
Yeah, they have. No one's modded that yet. That's gonna be the first thing that gets modded. Is someone's gonna be like, "Oh."
I'm talking about real life. I've never seen one.
Real life?
I've never seen a lady's baby back portion.
I giggled.
Oh dear.
You were asking about the game though.
But no, in all seriousness, it's I know you can get married. I've been playing the game for 30 hours, and I haven't cracked that case yet.
That's kind of what's exciting.
You played it that long? 30 hours?
I'm a professional reviews editor for Distracted.com.
Yeah, that's just so many hours.
I know what I'm doing.
I got it yesterday. I've probably put in maybe 8 hours.
Whoa.
I put 6 hours into Skyward Sword before I mailed it to you.
Oh, how'd you like it?
I'm not at liberty to say.
Oh, come on. You can use a word or sound. Make a sound. You can't be quoted on that.
Motion plus. That's what I'm going to say with that tone of voice.
And you did send it to me, didn't you?
I think you're probably going to love it.
Probably. I liked the demos, okay.
I know what you're like. I know what you're like. You were right about that guy, though. I can talk about that because that's public. You were right about the creeper dude.
What about him?
The licky-faced demon dude. He's pretty
so good. Yeah, the next Talking to Women about video games might be about him, because I think he's important. He's worth talking about. Yeah, the long purple tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And I heard he's got a female counterpart who's like
female? Did you just say a female counterpart?
I wish I did. No, there's a butch badass female heroine in the game who's got a long neck and she beats people down. So I'm looking forward to that. That's what I've heard anyway. She beats up that purple tongue guy. And that's my story. Yeah, is it questions time? I think we've been at it for a little while.
We ain't got no questions.
We haven't got any questions? Oh yeah, you did have questions.
I've not stopped them, but at the moment I don't even have time to do a shitty little questions post. That's how I don't have time to be. Oh, you can if you want. Yeah, I mean, it's just I don't even have time to be doing this, but I'm doing it because I love it and I like doing Podtoid. But yeah, it's crazy out here. It's I work so hard. I'm like a New York fireman.
Well, just until what? December?
I am the 9/11 first responder of video games. I hope everybody understands that and gives me free healthcare as well.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah.
So it's too late for questions. I'm asking on Twitter, but nobody's asking anything.
Yeah, I mean, I can hang around for a little bit more. I know Max has got stuff to do.
Yeah. You got to do stuff, Max?
Yeah, he's gonna play Skyrim.
I want an actual fucking helmet. I'm really mad because I have friends who are blacksmiths, and I want them to make me a Dovahkiin helmet because this stupid hat isn't doing it for me. I really want an actual helmet. I have an actual sword, but you can't do anything with an actual sword while you're playing a video game. You just kind of look at it or put your foot next to it. I want an actual helmet to wear. I love my gunner glasses for playing high-tech games, but I want a fucking helmet to play Skyrim in. It's fucking stupid that I don't have a goddamn helmet. Anyway,
to play the video game.
I just want to do that. when you build a box fort, it's more fun if you're dressed up like something.
God.
I think
I
so.
don't know.
Yeah.
Like when you're like a little kid, you're like, oh man, I'm having fun. Like, or like, oh, the Lone Ranger's on. I'm gonna go put on my cowboy hat and sit in front of the TV, like 2 feet away from it. That's me with Skyrim. I want an actual fucking helmet cast from fucking iron and forged with fucking goddamn bighorn goat horns on the side of it, and I want actual blood that I put on it for no
Damn
reason.
right. And I
want to wear that.
I want a choir. I want a Scandinavian choir behind me going. Ho, 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 ho,
Jim, have you been playing Skyrim with big ear fucking headphones on?
No, I've got my little surround soundy dee going.
Oh my god, I have the Astro A40s on, and it's there have been a few times when I've just gone. Ah!
The music is fucking
really
inspiring. But I really shouldn't be saying half the things I'm saying. Probably. I haven't gone too far beyond anything that's in a preview. It's all
anything
right.
we've said, we could have said in the preview. So.
Yeah. So shut up,
Yeah,
Pete
right.
Hines at Bethesda, who's not even listening because he's too big for this. Is that supposed to be Pete Hines?
No,
Who's
that's the
Pete Hines?
Skyrim noises.
Oh, I thought you was...
I need like 15 other Swedish dudes standing behind me going. I
I love that when you... Every time you level up...
This just makes like I wanna go to Scandinavia now. I'll just go to IKEA and I'm just gonna go up to the different furniture and just be like, bookshelf, desk chair. I don't know. They should make an official, like a licensed Skyrim line of like, crazy medieval furniture at IKEA, and it would be horribly expensive, and I'd be like, oh, I want that. I want it. And then you'd take it home and you'd have to be like a higher level of, craftsmanship to build it.
Yeah, how
Anyway.
popular? How much do you guys think that game's going to sell? It's going to sell a lot of copies?
A
Skyrim?
billion?
A
It's-
billion?
It will sell all
actually,
of them.
I'm really
All the
curious.
copies?
Yeah, we'll sell all of
Because
them.
it seems like there's a lot of people who like it a lot, but maybe not as many. I can't see it doing like 10 million, though. You think?
No,
The
it won't.
No, I mean, Call of Duty does
It's not
10
Call of Duty.
million. It's not...
The people who are going to buy it are going to buy it, and they're not going to play anything else.
Right. So they're just done.
Well, the thing is, I thought about this the other day. It's like when I was faced with the possibility of playing Skyward Sword and Skyrim and Saints Row the Third all at once, which I was debating yesterday whether I could do that, and then I realised no, I can't. And then I mailed. I had to pick one to sacrifice, and it was Skyward Sword, because I know Jonathan Holmes will get a lot more out of that than I would playing 3 games at once. But the point is you've got those 3 games coming out really close to each other. Skyward Sword, Skyrim, and Saints Row the Third. And these are all games that typically, when you play games like that, you aren't planning to play or really do anything else for the next 5 weeks. And they've all come out at once, and ideally those games could sell to the same type of gamer. I mean, I'll use myself as a blueprint. I love Zelda, I love Saints Row, I love Elder Scrolls. All 3 of those games appeal to me, but all at once, I mean, 2 I'm going to be able to manage, but all 3 of those, I think, like the consumers... like me, the consumers are going to have to make that sacrifice, and it's going to be interesting to see which ones are, who makes the cut.
My birthday is on Saturday, and Tara and I are splitting up there. We're sharing Skyrim for the show because we're going to do a thing on it next week. And we were talking about it. And I was just like, if I have Skyrim this weekend, I will be so unhappy because if I'm playing Skyrim, I'll be mad that I'm not out doing birthday stuff, and if I'm out doing birthday stuff, I'll be mad that I'm not at home playing Skyrim. So I'm just
so you lose no matter what.
The first part of the week.
Yeah, but it's crazy they brought out these 3 really long investments at the same time. That's unheard of.
I want Saints Row so badly, but I'm kind of dreading it just because it's kind of a Sophie's Choice situation, And switching between them is not going to be easy either. I'm gonna have to switch from Jägermeister to Old English.
I'm just picturing Scoville's Choice, a really dramatic trailer. But I want to party down with my homies.
And you've just got this German guy saying you can only play one.
I would watch that movie.
Yeah.
Now, I've got a bunch of questions now. If you guys want to do them, you want to do them
Boy,
real
let's
quick?
do it,
You want to
yeah.
do like 5 or
Let's
so?
let's do some fucking questions, bitch.
From Tara Long GIF. It's not a question, but a request.
Jesus.
I want more Tara in my Podtoid. Tell them fools to shut their pie holes for 2 seconds. Speak up, girl. So that's encouraging.
Why did you say that like all up and down like the G-Man from Half-Life?
I don't know.
Tell those two fools to close their pie holes, Mr. Freeman.
He is a good character.
He's an
Absolutely.
awesome character, yeah. But
Yeah.
sorry, our pie holes are open while Tara should be speaking.
It's funny because we really do have pie holes because of all the pies that we're going to be
Because
eating
of
in
the-
Skyrim.
Damn right, Pyrim.
Master
pie.
Glitch.
The Elder
Oh,
Rolls. More savoury baked products.
I am incredibly hungry right now. So it's working for me. Master Glitch asks on Twitter, is Master Glitch, if you could high five any video game character, who would it be and why? That's a tough one.
High five.
I would probably high five. Yeah, give a greeting, a celebratory, congratulatory, perhaps greeting to a video game character.
That's kind of dumb. I high five I've high five. I haven't high five.
You actually have
but I
high five
could.
video game characters.
It's just like what's exciting about that? Like,
Yeah.
I'd rather hang out
Snorlax?
with if I could hang
I
out
high
with somebody.
five people I don't even like just because they hold their hands up.
Yeah, our producer's always like high five, and I'm like fine.
Just
You know?
Pavlovian.
Yeah.
How about
I high fived a crosswalk signal once. Like when it has flashes the red hand, I ran up and I just jumped up and hit it. And this lady was walking in front of me, and she turned around and looked really scared because I was just hitting street signs.
Well, I'm going to move on to the next question then. If you could be a tree, what kind of tree would you be? From
Oh,
the
what the
youngster?
God,
fuck?
Jesus!
I would be a redwood.
I would be a larch.
I'd either be a
Definitely.
beech or a birch.
Oh yeah, those are good.
I
Did
would
you say a large?
Birch.
large.
Actually, larch. The
Larch?
larch. Yeah, the larch.
You ever seen a
The-
cork tree?
Oh, Jonathan Holmes, you'll be busting out that Monty Python reference!
Only you got it, Jim. Thanks. Anyone got a tree answer before I move on to the next
Willow.
question? Willow.
Over the
Wonderful.
river, looking all sad.
If you could be any shitty question we've had to answer on this week's Podtoid, what shitty question on Podtoid would you be?
Hey, to be
Ouch.
fair, we're getting these at the last minute from people that didn't have to do anything.
Yeah, I'm doing it as fast as I can. Havoc Fang asks, which games would you like to see have crossovers? That's all you got.
Like to a
That's all he
movie?
has.
Or like two video games?
Mario and Sonic, Marvel vs. Capcom, Tatsunoko
Ugh.
vs. Capcom.
I
That
hate
sort of thing.
crossover games. They're always so shitty.
It,
Deus Ex
Oh.
and Duke Nukem.
it wouldn't be shitty if it was Animal Crossing and Silent Hill.
Wow, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. I'm gonna go with Minecraft and Katamari because they just make sense together.
Oh, that would be really cool, actually.
Oh, thank you. I thought of that myself. The cat is
Ooh.
making so much noise. You guys hearing that? It's like tap dancing on me. So loud. Sorry about that.
I would
you got one?
I was my first one would just be a buddy. I've never seen a good buddy game, but I would see Deus Ex and Duke Nukem together.
Whoa.
Because
would
I
come-
actually I've been playing Deus Ex and I really like Adam Jensen as a character.
Yeah.
He's like kind of a cool guy. But it's funny
That's
because him and
definitely
Duke Nukem, they both are fucking. They're such like total lightweights. They drink like one beer and they're like, oh, and they like fall over. I'm like, that's funny. I just want to see them hanging out. Like, I want to see like them time traveling together. That'd be silly. But I would like to see Hydro Thunder and Chrono Trigger in the same game, just because nobody would not get angry at that game.
Oh, I would also like to suggest, and this one's especially for Jonathan Holmes,
Yes.
Spyro the Dragon and Chiller.
What about Sesame Street, Once Upon a Monster,
Uh-huh.
and mixed with, let's see, Sesame Street, Dead Space maybe would be good. Scare the
Huh.
children. Yeah.
It could be really scary. Muppets can be terrifying in the right lighting, I think, in the right scenario. My cat is making so much noise.
Yeah,
Heavy-
Nicole Richie scares the shit out of me, and that's some amazing puppetry they're doing with her.
Heavy Rain and Mario Paint.
Heavy Mario Rain. Whoa, that could be so depressing.
God, I love Mario Paint.
Yeah, me too. I don't have it, but I love it just from YouTube videos, the music. Well, there's so many questions now. There's 15 questions. How many more should we do? Two? Two more?
I don't do
Do two
whatever. I don't give a fuck anymore.
Okay. Woody_UK asks, if you could solve any problem with the current games industry, what would it be? That's hard.
Nintendo.
Nintendo is a problem to the games industry. They have problems, but they aren't a problem. Are they hurting anyone? X?
Yep.
Who are they hurting? Who got hurt because they
all
made
those people
some
who are getting fired from Nintendo because they don't have any
that's
money.
Nintendo getting hurt, sure, but
And then they have to hire orphans because they keep making smaller consoles, and they have to hire people with little hands to put their hands inside the consoles to put the games in them. And they just kill all the little kids.
That was a good laugh. I enjoyed it. I would fix the problem with games costing more money than people can afford, because that's causing a lot of problems for people.
I agree.
Mhm.
I don't
Yeah.
know why it should be like there are so many different like levels of game size. Like I think that people would pay $80 for Skyrim, but
Right.
for instance, Sonic Generations, that would probably make more money if it was like $30 or $40.
Yeah, they actually are selling it at 50, which isn't great, but it's a concession. And
Am I
that-
weird? Am I weird in thinking that no platformer should ever be more than like $40?
Yeah,
Really?
I think
Yeah,
it depends.
I mean-
Well, it depends on the platform game. I mean, if you give me a fucking 90-hour platform game that is awesome, I'll pay $60 for it. But
I feel so
Yeah.
bad for Rayman Origins. Is going to
Yeah.
be so. They have
God,
such
that game looks so good though. Why did they
It's-
make
yeah.
it $60?
Everyone in the fucking games industry is like Rayman Origins. Like, go. Everyone I like talk to who has like similar interests, or it's just are we all kind of agreed that Rayman Origins looks fucking great?
it looks
Yeah.
damn good, yes.
Won lots of awards and shit, like at awards shows and stuff.
Well, so
Holmes?
why won't people buy? Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
I mean, are you agreeing with me that it looks like a really awesome game?
Oh yeah, it looks very good, but I'm confused why people, like Tara just said the most contradictory thing, but it's totally true. It's like, that game looks so good, that sucks that it's $60 because no one's going to buy it even though it looks awesome. Like, why is that a thing? Why don't people want to pay full price for a platformer? Isn't that just a fun video game to play? Help me
I have a
understand
hard
it.
time
Why?
paying full price for most games, I'll be honest.
I mean, the problem with that like, I love platform games, but there is
Yeah,
that
why-
attitude now that like nobody wants
Why?
to pay that much money for it, and
It's hard.
Were they
It's 'cause you're
devalued by
paying
the
for-
downloadable market or something? Because the
If it looks
downloadable
like it
market
could be a
is-
downloadable, like I could buy. I mean, if you're, I know it's a bigger game and there's more to it than just like a $15 game. But when I look at,
Mhm.
if this was 1995, every game was kind of like that. But it feels like
right,
there's a dimension missing.
right. So
That's
people
kind of
think
it.
that dimension, yeah. And do you
It
think
feels
it's
like a
that
smaller game, even if it is like
huge?
a big
Yeah,
game
Donkey
for
Kong
its
Country
style.
Returns is a huge game. Yeah, on the Wii, those games still make. I think Donkey Kong Country Returns sold 5 million copies, so they can still pull it off there. But, so do you think it has something to do with the fact that there's so many amazing?
I think there is a problem
platforms.
with perception, like value
Yeah.
perception. As Tara said, like paying $60 for a platform game is something people don't want to do, and I don't think that's necessarily right. It is unfortunately an issue that's going to keep happening, and that's why even when they wanted to bring back Sonic as a proper platformer, Sonic 4 was digital, and even with Sonic Generations, they had to make 50% of it 3D to make it
In order
look
to
like it's
justify
worth
the
the money.
price.
Yeah, and it's a sad situation, especially as someone like me who loves, nice platformer games. 10 out of 10
Do you
for
think-
Kirby and whatnot.
Yeah. Do you think if PSN and XBLA didn't have so many good platformers on it, people wouldn't expect to pay so little?
It might.
For the genre?
That actually might have something to do with it, because as Max said, like if it looks like it can be on a digital platform, people are gonna expect digital prices, and there are some great looking and great playing games on the digital platform for $15.
Well, that would make me assume that as the digital platforms allow for more and more genres and bigger games, that eventually the price of all games is just going to whittle down.
Here's the thing. Would you pay like, I mean, hypothetically, this might be the wrong way to phrase this question, but would you pay like, $50 for a filet mignon dinner? Like that's a thing. Like if you're having a fancy dinner,
Sure, yeah.
Now let's say that's a hamburger, and it's
Mhm.
like the same quality meat, and it's really good, and they same chef prepared it, and it's all really delicious. Just the fact that it's a hamburger makes it kind of a different
Right.
perspective on what you're paying for.
Because people are used to paying 99 cents for a hamburger at McDonald's, but they're not used to paying 99 cents for McDonough filet mignano burger.
Yes,
meat.
exactly.
Yes, I said
Whatever
that.
the fuck you just said.
I mean, at the end, whether or not it's right to ascribe these values to these games, it is the reality of the situation which makes Ubisoft wanting to charge $60 for Rayman Origins a very silly thing to do.
Yeah.
I think, and you get this, you get people complaining about game prices, yet always following it up with, but of course our game is worth $60. All the other games should be 50 or 40, and it's like, well, if no one's going to take the first fucking step, it's not going to change. And I think we've needed tiered pricing for a long time, like 60 for a guaranteed fucking seller, 40 for a game that is, moderately untested or a high budget new IP, and then have 20 as a price for, the kind of lower level games.
Sure. Well, it could be reflective of how much money they spent on making the game. Nintendo's been getting away with it for a long time. The new Super Mario Brothers Wii did not cost as much as, let's say, Skyrim to make. Yet they sold it for $50 and made 15 million. Sold 15 million copies of it.
And it gets on my nerves when, like as I said before, when I almost called Silicon Knights too human, which I think they should be called. When Silicon Knights and Activision bring out fucking X-Men Destiny and put it
full
next
price, right?
for $60 and then put it next to Batman Arkham City and say both these games are equal in value, I just want to slap someone.
Well, just in budget, they did not cost the same amount to make by any means.
Budget, time, care, and attention, and above all, quality. Like, they're not comparable in the least, and they want comparable prices, and that's a system that is fucked and should change.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Well, that was a great answer to that question. I loved it. Should we do any more questions? There's a question for Max from Stijan Van Kralingen. It's a guy I talk to on Twitter all the time.
Well, I can't pronounce his name.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just not from that country. I don't know that language. He wants to know if the squid bear would be in Skyrim. How would it be presented to the player? Would it be a boss fight, quest, loot, etc.? How would that squid bear? What would that be like, Max?
If I had my choice, I think it would just be like I guess it would just be a monster that you'd fight. I mean, it could be
a big one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would be kind of cool to have it, have like a few smaller, like, some like squidlets, little squidsies, little ones running around.
Aww.
But then there's just a big one, and you're
but they have bear bodies.
There
too?
he is. Better.
Huh? Are there owl bears in Skyrim at least? Does it have owl bears? Does Skyrim have owl bears?
I don't think they have. I can't say.
See,
like a bear that can fly and perform.
No, an
witchcraft?
owl bear. An owl bear is just a jerk.
I don't like the owl bear.
I like.
If you have a sunbird, you should put some aloe vera on it.
I would like Skyrim a lot more if it had squid bear in it. I'm just gonna go out and say that. I want more weird stuff like that in that game. And I guess we'll just one last question for Jim, and then we'll go. Why is it that Jim Sterling gets so much shit for being the only journalist who actually utilizes the whole review scale? And that's from Isaac Cuevas.
I'm not a journalist.
Isaac A-I-S-A-A. Yeah, and you're not the only one.
I can't do a show like this for almost 2 hours and then claim to be that would insult everybody in the world.
And I like to think I use the whole point scale.
Well, I mean, it's not like... I mean, I try and encourage everyone on Destructoid to do it, and
yeah, I think
most
we all
of them do. So, I think it's Destructoid as an outlet that's doing it, and there are others like Edge. I've come to respect their reviews a lot, score-wise, so they do it. As to why I'm the only one who gets shit on it, again, it's not that I'm the only one. There are other people. Justin McElroy actually got shit on for doing a video where he danced with his copy of Skyrim, and people were like, "Oh, that is so unprofessional."
I actually got front paged on Reddit because I took a picture of my copy of Skyrim and my Skyrim hat and my sword, my 2 cans of Red Bull, 3 cans of Mountain Dew, a bottle of Jägermeister, a box of tissues, and my Jergens hand cream, and then a steak sandwich and a bag of beef jerky. And I was just like, here's my review copy of Skyrim. You think I'm ready? And that's on the front page of R Gaming now, which is funny because I hate them.
Yeah, no,
I don't even know who they are.
They're
I don't know who they
the
are.
gaming
Imagine-
section of Reddit.
Oh, Reddit. I've never been on that.
basically, if you want to think of Reddit, who's doing that scurrying, scrabbling noise? That's terrible.
I'm sorry. It might have been me. What could have been my cat? Is it over now?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. What were you going to say, Jim?
It doesn't matter anymore.
Why not? No, it matters a lot.
It
I want to speak to people getting mad at you for being excited about liking Skyrim. I wanted to say that I hate the self-loathing in this industry. It really bothers me that we get mad at each other for liking video games and saying you're not supposed to actually like them because they're for kids and you're being childish. You need to be professional, and someone who doesn't like video games and then writes about them because it's work and not fun. That is terrible.
Well, the thing is, you get one side of the people saying, oh, well, he shouldn't have reviewed this because he's a fan of the games. And then you get the other people who are like, who's this ignorant idiot reviewing this game when he's not a fan of the series? It's like, you can never win. And I'm certainly not the only one who gets shit on its reviewers in general. I said the other day that never before have people demanded such high standards from people who they have such low expectations of. Because journalists are like, so many people think that game reviewers are like, shit and stupid, and yet they expect them to have a level of ethics and standards above that of gods themselves. It's like, you can't have it both ways. Either you think we're all dunces, or you think we're capable of feats of professionalism that not even paramedics are expected to bring to the table.
Are you familiar with the ego defense mechanism called projection?
I am, yes.
Yes.
I have
see a lot
accused
of that.
many of that over the years.
Yes. I am tired. I am a little tired of the projection when people are angry at themselves or angry at the fact that they aren't respected or angry at the fact that other people are saying they are not doing the right thing with their life, that they let it out on others. Bummer.
Well, I mean, NeoGAF in particular seems to be a place where people just go to whine about the fact that they're not paid to whine about things in the video game industry.
Yeah, it would be different if they actually did it, I'm sure. Do you guys want any more questions, or do you think that's a good
I think
finish?
we're okay. It's the heating's come on in here, and I'm really hot, and my tits are sweating.
My cats are being so relentless. I have to feed them and eat a burrito. And I might be writing a special guest article for a magazine. I have to do that tonight. Die Hard Game Fan magazine. Ooh.
I was mentioned in a magazine this week in Australia.
Oh, you were? Oh, really?
Apparently some Australian game magazine called Hyper did a list of, like, funny Xbox 360 achievements for games journalists. And one of the wacky achievements was called a sterling effort. And the way to get this achievement is to give a game a lower review score than it deserves and sit back laughing.
Wow, they're so dumb. I don't say that usually, but are they thinking at all? Did they notice that just because you don't think exactly like they think, that doesn't mean that you're lying? Or, wow, they don't allow for any possibility that there's multiple opinions in this world.
I don't know. I've been accused of
crazy
telling so many lies, engineering social experiments with my review scores to manipulate the community into reacting the way I need them to react. I've been accused of, like, mass manipulation, of successfully trolling multiple communities multiple times over multiple years, that if any of it were true, I would basically be Lex Luthor wearing Carnage as a symbiote suit.
Indeed.
Did you guys see that? There's a thread on 4chan where someone's like, I used to work in the video game journalism industry. I have all of the dirty, deep, dark secrets about hookers and blow and who buys what and how Michael Pachter is a shadow agent and NeoGAF is owned by the syndicate. And like,
oh, it's not fair to prey on people's paranoia like that. Everyone is, yeah.
Yeah. There's a part where someone chimes in and they say, you know, someone goes, any dirt on Destructoid? And someone else goes, you're pointing out how like not everyone in the games industry knows each other, and how someone from Destructoid isn't likely to know someone from GameSpot, and it's a really, really weird thread to read because it's like conspiracy theorist stuff, except it's about what we do.
About things that really like the most important thing in the world.
Yeah,
it's really not
but
that
it's
exciting.
important to them.
Like,
I mean,
it's important to them.
Again, with the accusations people give to me and the other things that they say, and about Destructoid and everything in general, it's like, it's such a compliment at the end of the day that they think that we're capable of supervillain grade machinations. When really we're just some nerds on the internet like them who got a little bit luckier. And yet they think, master manipulators, charismatic cult leaders. When you read some of the things they say about us, it makes us sound brilliant. It makes us sound like, something from DC or Marvel that, like, gives Spider-Man a run for his money. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, indeed.
it's exciting.
Oh, yeah.
It's fun to feel that
Sure.
way. But
we will be remembered. The Jim certainly will be, and I think we all will be here in some way.
Well, basically, when I die after doing something terrible, they'll play clips of this stuff on, like, news reports about my death, and then they will, like, you listen to the stuff and they'll say, yeah, that makes it all sensible. Now we understand.
How you died.
And who are those three fucks enabling the man who went on to shoot up that school?
Well, I hope you live forever, Jim, so we'll just have to see what happens.
Dude, I'll be lucky to make it to 40. When did the guy who played Dynamo in Running Man die? Because I'm only hoping to beat his record.
I think he was like 42 or something, yeah.
There we go, I ain't got much longer.
Yeah, he was a cool guy. We're still talking about him today.
Exactly.
He did.
And I am very much the Dynamo of games journalism.
They're remaking that movie,
I know they are. Well, they're remaking everything. I mean, I'm looking forward to them doing Gremlins.
Are they doing that too?
I don't, not yet, but that for me is going to be the sign when it's finally over for all of movies. Once they remember Gremlins exists and remake it, I'm bowing out of
movies,
of life. I will live on my little. I mean, actually, to be fair, some remakes are pretty decent. I think we need to be a bit more open-minded about them, but basically what I'm saying is that the Friday the 13th remake wasn't shit like everyone says, and they should shut up.
It seemed okay. I didn't watch the whole thing.
I liked it.
Yeah, it seemed alright.
It was good.
You watched the first one? Because the first Friday the 13th is pretty fucking stupid.
Yeah, the third one's worse. I watched that one for the first time this weekend. Like we did.
Dream Warriors?
No, Friday the 13th. Jason Voorhees. Hockey.
Oh, I mixed it up with Nightmare on Elm Street. Sorry about that.
Yeah. But the third one is I mean, all of those films are shit. Like Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Halloween. I mean, they're fun to watch in like a schlocky, silly way, but they're all shit. So I don't know why we have to complain about them being remade, like as if they're going to make them any worse. It's like, what were you expecting? They don't have much to work with. And to be honest, both Friday the 13th and the Halloween one, I think they did some really awesome things that improved the mythos of the characters. Nightmare on Elm Street, not so much.
But the prequel aspect of Halloween was pretty good.
I loved that, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was great. Yeah, well, not all remakes are bad. We shouldn't have all or nothing thinking. That's it's the way of the Sith. Is that right? Is that how the Sith are? Oh, they see things in black and white. Mix up the Sith with people that are just dumb sometimes.
I hate Star Wars so much.
Oh, come on, you like it sometimes.
It's so stupid. I'm reading the old Star Wars Tales from the Mos Eisley Cantina. It's so fucking good. Like compared to the prequels, there's so much shit going on.
All of those Underworld Tales books are great. I love them.
It's fucking Elmore Leonard in space. It's awesome.
You guys say this like once a month,
I know.
They're really cool books.
It really does bear repeating.
Sure, I'm not complaining. Just explaining.
Yeah, I need to do it's one of those colon achy shits. So I'm going to have to go and deal with that. I think it was all those M&Ms.
Got an achy shit?
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Tell you what you need. You know what you need? You need what I got in my bathroom, which is a bunch of gaming magazines and then the newest Lego catalog, and then 2 issues of Zoo Books. You're all set to go on the toilet.
Take a photo of that, and you can be on Reddit twice.
I'm probably going to do that later. Fucking Reddit. They're like, I thought you hated Reddit. I'm like, I do. I also hate Twitter. I'm always on that shit. Fucking
I've never been on
assholes.
Reddit. It seems all right. It's got some news
I
or something.
I
Jonathan
read
Holmes-
them when there's a big controversy, just because it's funny to see these outraged moral guides like casting down their.
I totally, did totally school somebody in the Reddit post. I posted the Skyrim thing, and then someone goes, "Are we supposed to be impressed?" And I went, "No, this is r/gaming. You're supposed to be snarky and insufferable. Keep up the good work." It got uploaded to shit.
Nice.
You done it. You done it.
Okay, I gotta get this wrapped up and done.
Close this up, Jim. Close up our show.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you all for listening and stuff. Hello. I'd like to thank Max and Tara and Jonathan Holmes. You can catch Max and Tara every Monday, Wednesday, Friday on the Destructoid Show via YouTube and Rev3. You can catch Jonathan Holmes on Destructoid. He has got talking to women about video games every Tuesday on Detoid.com. You can also catch Max Scoville on The Comedy Button, which is another podcast on iTunes. Look it up, losers. And I do the Jimquisition as well as Destructoid Reviews, escapistmagazine.com, Destructoid.com. Skyrim review coming Thursday, November 10. So you should check that out. And we will see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.